Hey world, it's being willing to come back with another video. Had to get out here in the elements because apparently on the desktop it wasn't cooperating with the rain. So I figured if I get out in the elements, see how that's gonna do. Okay. But fam, I want to talk about something real quick because I did talk about, if you didn't get a chance to watch my last live, I did about an hour ago. We're talking about the lottery and how the lottery is an additional tax. You just don't know it. Alright? Because you actually say, well, how you say it's a tax? Well, if the monies, because remember, all you guys that done played the lottery, how many times have you won? And so add up all the money that you've lost playing the lottery. Alright? That's taxes. Now you may say, well, if it's taxes, then it has to go toward the community, right? Or go toward the public. No, that ain't how that go. You think all your FICA taxes or Social Security taxes going to where it's supposed to go to? Why you think they can tell you right up there in plain sight that Social Security may not be here by 2035? And you still paying Social Security taxes. See how thorough that is? So the lottery is a form of tax. But guess what else is a form of tax? Tithes. Or so-called tithes. Because like I said, I'm not religious, so I'm on the outside looking in. And so I can be objective. But when I see that, since the 1990s, so-called black churches have raked in donations $430 billion. What? $430 billion? Now remember, churches are supposed to be community service organizations. I mean, from a religious standpoint, right? So that means wherever church that's located in that community, then that community is supposed to be empowered, and the citizens of that community, whether if they're in dire straits, they shouldn't have to worry about anything because the church is there to help them. Because, like I said, I read the Bible many times, and I do understand that in the Bible it states that the storefront is where they hold all the donations and all the contributions from the community as a whole to make sure those that are in need receive it. And in the Bible it does stipulate that fatherless children, okay, widows, and strangers, i.e. the homeless, were supposed to be granted those contributions or quote-unquote tithes that's stored in the storefront or the church. Why isn't that happening? You know why? Because of the deception. Now you gotta remember, family, we talking 501c3, which is the non-profit organization tax status that all churches have. So think about that for a minute. That's $430 billion that black churches have accumulated since the 1990s. And look in your neighborhood, family, of all these churches, especially the mega churches. There's actually that church in Atlanta where Creflo Dollar is the pastor over. It made $69 million like in 2016 or 2017. These couple years ago, so it's only getting, so that's why he can ask for a $50 million jet. And if the area and the community in that particular church's environment feels that $50 million or $69 million, I can see. But family, let's look at this for a minute. $430 billion since the 1990s. And they own a 501c3 status, which means it's a non-profit organization, so which means they don't pay taxes on that money. And I'm in H-Town, and I know there are some big churches in the neighborhoods, and the neighborhood doesn't seem like it's being improved. And they may say, hey, that's supposed to be public service from the taxes, but we know that ain't happening. So what you're telling me is not only is the lottery stealing from the public, state and federal taxes are stealing from the public, and churches are stealing from the public. This is ridiculous. All right? So, fam, I just want to come back with a little food for thought. I had to get out the crib because the computer was tripping. I wanted to go live on this, but of course I had to step outside in the elements. And, you guys that pay that tithe, like I said, there's nowhere in the Bible where it says you're supposed to give 10% of anything. And remember, if someone can dispute or challenge me on the storefront and who's supposed to receive the contribution from the church, I would definitely like to know that, because remember, this whole notion of prosperity preaching is to basically have the public adopt this doctrine that once you accept God as your Savior, then you will receive all the riches of this world. Well, it seems to me that the only one receiving riches are the ones that's passing or preaching the doctrine, the televangelists. Now, I don't understand it when the homeless rate is going up and the contributions that you guys are giving to the churches are going up, but we don't see a change in community service. Churches are supposed to be the first line of defense when it comes to community service. I'm just saying. Okay? So, I just want to come back with a quick video about that. Remember, the lottery is a tax that you pay that you don't know. And of course, contributions that you give on Wednesdays and Sundays. And some of you guys are Hebrew Israelites that go on Saturdays. Hey, man, look at your neighborhoods. Check your own bank account and see how you doing. Because if you can't pay your bills, but you be able to pay tithes every week, you should be comfortable enough to go to your preacher, and that's where it's supposed to go. Okay? So, family, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know how you feel about that. Remember, thank you for liking the videos. Make sure you share and subscribe, and push the notification button so you know when I'm in the garden again. And in the meantime, between time, any more signs, sorry to bring you joy. And being with is out of 5,000.